This is our tradition. You being the elder statesman, and I say that with the utmost respect of this press corps. Why don't you get us started, and we'll talk a little football.
Thanks, EJ. My question, hi, Jaylen. Hey, Patrick, how are you doing?
What's going on?
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I understand you're both first-round draft picks, according to what I read a couple weeks ago, so we'll see about that later. My question is for you guys, and for both of you to answer if you can, considering that the virus is something that is passed along relatively easily from person to person, what is your level of comfort in actually playing football, going to practice every day, when you're allowed to do that?
I'm 100% comfortable. I'm ready to get back with my brothers. I feel safe around them for sure. I always check up on them. Like me and Patrick were just working out like last week, checking up on each other. So like I'm comfortable around them, and I know like they have been in good hands through this pandemic.
Yeah, I feel the same as JT. I mean, like you said, I'm 100% ready to go back and get back to work. And then at the same time, that us come in, you're going to trust that your brother's doing the right thing. And I trust all my brothers, so I'm 100% comfortable.
Quick follow-up, if I could, EJ. Do you guys know of anyone in your circle of acquaintances, whether teammates or friends, that has had the virus? Anyone?
I do. My sister had it.
And how is she doing, Patrick?
She recovered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, not nobody. Maybe like some itchy throats or something like that, but never really came up with the virus.
Glad to hear it. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Guys, Patrick and Jaylen, I mean, what have the coaches told you about when you should expect to be back on campus? Like, have they given you a date to start planning to move in, or are you just waiting to find out what the next move is?
So I've heard so many different things, it's so many different discussions. But being as though that I guess like Pennsylvania has went into like the yellow, it should be something coming up soon, I guess, within like the next month or a couple weeks.
Hey, has Coach Narduzzi or anybody said, guys, circle June 15th or circle July 1st or anything like that?
No, not in anything specific, but they was just like keep our eyes open and don't make no big plans or nothing like that because they're going back and forth with the NCAA and trying to find a date for us to come back. Bands though that Pennsylvania is went to the yellow and stuff like that. They just want to make sure we all in good hands, and when we do come back, they have said that we're gonna be broken up into probably 8 to 10 groups, small groups, everybody wearing masks and stuff like that.
Hey guys, thanks for doing this first of all, but I wanted to ask, we've heard a lot from some coaches and from some athletic directors about how long they think football players will need before the season to be together and practicing. I just wanted to get a player's perspective. How long do you guys feel like in order for you guys to be in football shape so that there aren't, additional injuries and things like that, how much preparation do you guys need before you could start a season?
I feel like, me personally, I'm ready to go now. Because, we ain't had no spring ball, so my body's not really beat up from spring ball. And I feel like everybody team been grinding, so I feel like we all in pretty good shape for real. And I feel like whenever we get called back, we're going to be ready as a group. We should be.
Yeah, to piggyback off Patrick, I feel like, we had a game tomorrow, we'll be straight, but I would say probably like a couple weeks just for camp, to knock off a little bit of the rust. But as far as game shape or in shape or as far as been lifting, we're ready for a game tomorrow as a whole collective unit. Even in our Zoom meetings, our Coach Bates is doing push-ups every day to try to give us some motivation and stuff like that. But, once we get on the pads and all that other stuff, we'll only need probably a couple weeks to bang against each other and put some new plays in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. How many push-ups is Coach Bates up to now?
50.
50. Wow. What kind of workouts have you guys been doing? Is Coach Stacks kind of
giving you guys an outline, daily, weekly, or you guys kind of left to your own individual workout plans during this time?
No, Coach Stack gave us an outline. He definitely gave us a great outline to go off of. So make sure we get all our running in every day, we get our lifts in every day, and even if the people who aren't the people who don't have availability of the weights, he gives them a body weight program to do. So Coach Stack really been a great help doing this.
Yeah, I was going to say too, I mean, what kind of is, for both of you guys personally, Jaylen and Patrick, what are your kind of availability in terms of those like weights and stuff like that? What's your current situation? Where are you guys at right now? Are you guys back home? Are you in Pittsburgh? What's kind of your current situation?
I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm available to all weight, everything that I need. I ain't nothing limited.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm in Pittsburgh too.
When did you guys go back? And is it like a group of you guys that are there? Are you able to, obviously while social distancing, are you able to meet up and see teammates and stuff like that? Or kind of what's, especially with Pittsburgh in the yellow phase now, kind of what's been your kind of personal interaction with teammates and kind of just your day to day?
I mean, really, it's like what JT said. Me and JT, we checking over each other, we working out. We doing workouts together, but still like keeping social distance in like small groups and stuff. But like, I feel like we got like most of us have a pretty good availability of the weights and stuff. So when we can, we just help each other out with what we can, but make sure we just be careful and stay the distance and wear masks and stuff like that.
What's the communication like with teammates who are, especially with guys in your position group?
I mean, I'll check up on people. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody be checking up on everybody because we close knit group, we brothers. You know what I mean? So like, it's not just teammates there as well as like friendships too. So when you don't see your homies for a long time, you're gonna check up on them and stuff. But then at the same time, we've been seeing each other. We've been having Zoom meetings every day. So it's kind of like we still seeing each other a little bit.
Do you guys do that in terms of motivating each other too? The Zoom meetings and social media type communication?
We more of a self-motivated team. Everybody motivated within their own ways, but when we do talk to one another, like me and Patrick talking through social media or me posting a clip of me working out or something like that, we motivate each other in that type of way.
How was those 33 reps?
It was good, but I still got a whole lot of work to work on, technique and stuff like that.
For each of you guys, I'm just curious mentally, how challenging has this been and what's kind of kept you positive through this whole thing?
It's been challenging, but it's given us a chance to really get close with our families. Like Ben's though that we be away for a long time. The most time that we get with our families is probably 2 weeks. So getting closer to our families and really self-reflecting and watching a lot of film and stuff like that. So it's been challenging, but it's also been grateful as well.
Yeah, to go off what JT said, I think it has been challenging too, but there's also its upsides. When you spend a lot of time by yourself and like self-quarantining, you get a lot of time to just think real deep about who you are and what you're about. And when you could do that, you could sometimes find a better person inside you. So I think those are some of the upsides of quarantining and stuff like that.
For both of you guys, has it crossed your mind at all that there might not be football this year, and how devastating would that be? Have you watched any of the Korean baseball or the European soccer with people with no fans there, and what do you think that would be like?
I ain't thinking that far, and I'm not thinking that far. I'm sorry, I can't. That drive me crazy. I might get a ball here.
Patrick, has it crossed your mind at all that maybe there might not be a season?
Nah, I keep that thought out of my head because I just keep saying there's gonna be a season because I believe in speaking stuff into existence. I believe words are powerful, so I just keep saying there's gonna be a season. You gotta keep working and just keep that type of energy.
All right. Yeah, guys, I'm curious. Would you be comfortable playing if students weren't allowed back on campus? You know, would it be odd to be playing football and, you know, you go back to your dorm, you go back through, there's no classes, there's no in-person classes. Do you think they should go hand in hand, that if there's going to be football, there should be kids in classes?
For sure, for sure.
We student athletes. That's the way it should be.
But do you think, I mean, on the way you guys figured, if, you know, some schools are talking about, like California is talking about not having kids come back to class in the fall, but the athletics is still going on. I mean, do you guys feel you know, it's weird if you're saying, I mean, does it send a mixed message if the administration's saying, hey, students can't come back to class because we're worried about transmission, but yet you guys are out there banging against each other every day?
Me personally, I feel like, you know, ain't nothing like going to class on a Thursday and, you know, your professor and some of your classmates is cheering you on, trying to, you know, get you motivated for that game coming, or like, you know, coming in on a Monday class and, you know, they highlighting the playoff stuff like that. Like I interact with my classmates a lot in class or with my professors and stuff like that. So it'll be kind of weird, you know, not having class but football.
One last one, Jaylen. I'm just curious, considering how things got shut down immediately, and you know the NFL draft was held virtually, and there was limited in terms of visits and stuff like that. Did that sort of reinforce in your mind that you kind of made the right decision to try to come back for another year?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but like I ain't really care for real, because like, you know, a lot of people, even if it wasn't a pandemic, you know, a lot of people do stuff from home as well anyway. So it ain't like it crossed my mind, but like I'm just glad to be back with my brothers and, you know, give us another run.
Patrick and Jaylen, do you guys remember when everything got shut down? I think it was like really within a 24-hour span that the basketball tournaments were canceled, the NBA was canceled, and I'm assuming either Coach Narduzzi or someone had texted you or called you guys to say, "Hey, look, don't stay away from the facility. We're done here. Spring practice is done." Do you remember kind of how you guys found out and where you guys were and all of that kind of situation?
So we were actually down training in Atlanta. Me, Patrick, and Desmond. We was training in Atlanta at Chuck Smith training pass rush facility, and you know, we in there and we like, all right, like we were kind of happy that like, oh, they shut down spring practice for a week. We was gonna get an extra week of training in so we can try to keep bettering ourselves. But then once they got to canceling everything nationwide, we kind of like was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was you two, and who else was down there with you guys?
Desmond.
Oh, Desmond.
Gotcha. Patrick and Jaylen, you guys both kind of announced in a relatively short span of time that you both would be returning to school instead of going to the NFL draft. Was that a decision that you guys kind of made together, that you guys consulted each other about, or was it individual?
No, I mean, like we joke. We didn't really think about it until after the game. Honestly, well, I didn't. We would joke. We would like pick at each other back and forth, but it wasn't nothing serious. Like we weren't like really thinking we were going like. Me personally, I wasn't thinking I was going to leave the NFL. It was my first year starting, so like it never really crossed my mind till I started talking to people and got presented with the opportunity. But like it wasn't really like a thought in my head because I knew I got so much more to improve on.
Yeah, I was the same way as well. Like, you know, during the season, I wasn't thinking about like, oh, I'm about to try to declare for the NFL draft. Like that's never the goal. I just think about trying to make plays with my brothers and win games and stuff like that. And like Patrick said, at the end of the season, we were presented with the opportunity, but wasn't really tripping off of declaring on that. So that's why I said in that interview at the Eastern Michigan game that I'm 110% coming back.
Guys, have you both been quarantining in Pittsburgh this whole time, or did you? Well, obviously you were down in Atlanta at some point. When did you guys go back to Pittsburgh? I guess.
I just got back like 2 weeks ago. I was back home in Virginia for about, I think, 8 weeks.
Yeah, I was quarantining in DC for the previous weeks, but I've been in Pittsburgh for like 3.
Gotcha.
Patrick, you guys mentioned that you have a lot of Zoom meetings and calls, and with your teammates, with the coaches, and things like that. What does that schedule really look like? I mean, like, is it D-line meetings with Coach Partridge, and then defense meetings with Coach, Bates, or what? Day to day. How often are you guys meeting through a week, or each day, or what's the schedule actually look like?
So we meet Monday through Friday, and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are similar. Tuesday and Thursday are similar. Tuesday and Thursday is mostly like D-line stuff, and then we'll have office hours. If you want to get some extra film, you can watch extra film with Coach Partridge. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, we'll have a team meeting, and then we'll go special teams, and then we'll do individual meetings. But then on Tuesday and Thursdays, it's more unit-based and individual-based. So
you're hearing from Partridge, Bates, Narduzzi. I mean, you're hearing meetings from all those guys pretty much throughout the week. And would you say you talk to Coach Partridge every day, 5 days a week, 7 days a week? What do you think?
Probably about every day.
Yeah,
Saw on Twitter, I guess it might have been a week ago or a week and a half ago, that Coach Partridge had J.J. Watt in one of the D-line meetings. Was that?
Yeah.
What was that like? Obviously, Coach Partridge coached him when he was at Wisconsin. What was it like having J.J. in the Zoom? Was it a surprise? Did you guys know it was happening? Take us through that if you
don't mind. So he actually told us the day before. And when he told us the day before, he just mentioned him. He was like, yeah, I'm going to have JJ join. So we were talking, we were like, JJ. Why he said it so casually. We were like, who's JJ? And we was like, JJ Watt? Oh, shoot. And then we was like, we got to get our questions ready for him. And then I was so nervous, I couldn't even think of no questions right off rip. I'm glad he gave us a day in advance because I had to think of some questions.
What did you guys ask him?
Me personally, I asked him like questions like what it was like when he was on the diet, like how the diet changed him a lot. Because I know his body changed. Because I actually did a lot of research on JJ Watt coming out of high school because we were both 2-star recruits. So I wanted to look at somebody who'd been in my position and then somebody who made it to the top of my position. So I've been looking at JJ Watt for a long time. So I just asked some questions like how he helped develop his body with nutrition and stuff like that.
I was just asking him simple stuff like how to take over a complete game, or like, once you get to a certain point in the game and you trying to absolutely like take over the game and stuff like that. And, switching up different pass rush moves and, training off the field.
Were these questions within within kind of the group Zoom, or did you guys like get his number and text him after or something like that?
Within Zoom.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was Zoom.
Guys, I remember.
Sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys, I remember we were back at the bowl game. We were talking with Heather Lyken about how important it was for the team, even then, to have a continuity in the coaching staff. How much more difficult do you feel like things would be right now if you guys had new coordinators, new position coaches, or even a new head coach? And how important do you think it's going to be to this team that, it's a pretty familiar group that you guys are bringing back as far as the leadership of the team?
I feel like it would have been difficult, but at the same time, it would have been kind of easier. Not easier, but easy, because I feel like our team, we have so many people on the team that are leaders, and we have so many returners that we're a very self-led team. So I feel like it would have just been more like getting the instructions from the coaches, and then us holding each other out to a standard and going to get it. But of course, we got great staff, and I don't think nobody could replace the staff we got right now.
You talk about those the seniors and the guys coming back, and especially in that defense. Do you think that's an advantage for you guys? A lot of schools didn't get their spring. We don't know how long training camp will be. That you guys have so many returning starters and so many returning veteran guys, especially in that defense, that they pretty much know what to do and what their job is.
I feel like it can be an advantage, but it's only an advantage if those returns are still working. Because like there's people at other places they trying to take those returning spots, like people that might have got all ACC awards. There's people in other schools that are coming up trying to take their spot. So if you slack off, it only takes 2 weeks to slack off to erase 2-3 months of work. So everybody got to keep working, and then we'll see if the advantage is still there when we come back.
For sure. To piggyback on what Pat said, we just worried about working and stuff like that. And when we get back together, we trying to figure out a way to, instead of being 11th in the country in the defense, trying to be number one and stuff like that. So we always trying to figure out the next way to take our game to the next step. Like we've been talking about, instead of getting sacks, let's get the ball out as well. Small stuff like that. So we just trying to keep picking at it and getting 3% better every day.
Football aside, how have you guys been spending the quarantine in terms of like, I don't know, any Netflix shows, anything you guys have been binging during this long kind of hiatus?
Stumped.
Nothing.
I mean, I'm not really a big TV watcher. I'm a Call of Duty player.
All right. Okay.
So I've been.
I've been watching Money Heist on Netflix.
Okay. Warzone's the move, though, Patrick.
Yeah, Warzone for sure. I just caught a dub yesterday. I had 15 bodies. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but.
What type of positives have you guys taken from the current situation?
It teaches you how to train like a pro, because you got all this free time on your hands and stuff like that. So just really self-managing yourself and training like a pro. A lot of one-on-one workouts and stuff like that with yourself and your trainer. I know for me personally, I've just been taking this stuff like a pro and trying to develop my mindset.
Yeah, like what JT said, it gives you it gives you an idea of what it's gonna be like when you in the pros. Like, cause you on doing the all season in the pros, you don't have a scheduled time. Like you have free time, so you got to make your time count. And I feel like this was a good opportunity to show us what it was like to have that free time, not having practice, spring ball, and just knowing. It teaches you how to handle your business when to handle your business.
Hey guys, I know you said that you don't want to think about the stuff that was happening. Is there a season? Is there not a season? Those kind of things. But it's a roller coaster, and you had to be a little bit involved in it. So, when everything happens as scheduled in August and you run out on Heinz Field, what's going to be the feeling? Is it going to be different than other years, just because of everything that has happened in the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months?
For me personally, I think of course it's gonna be different because when you watch the news and you see the news and stuff, you see like they talking about like it might come back. So me personally, every time I step on the field, I know you're supposed to do it regardless, but I'm really playing every game as like it's my last in case God forbid something did happen, the season got cut short. That's my last college game, so I gotta take every game like it's my last. So every workout I do right now, I do it like it's my last workout because you just never know.
Yeah, I'm like so like Patrick said, like I'm playing for Patrick and these other guys this year because it's their last year and stuff like that, and like it'll be sad for their senior season to be cut short. So like I just think Hines should definitely before every game like give a moment of silence to those who have fallen to the COVID-19.
Jaylen, I'm curious. 33 benches is pretty impressive. I was wondering if that was the goal you set for yourself when you set down to do it, and what was it like being in the midst of all that and continue to lift in one after the other.
I don't really set goals. I just go out and get it. I try not to set goals and stuff like that. Because I want, for example, if you're a bank robber, you're not going to go in there and try to get a set amount of money. You're going to try to take it all. So that's my mentality. But when I was doing the bench press, and like from talking to my dad, because he used to lift a lot back in his heyday, he just always talks about breathing and stuff like that. So I just try to focus on breathing. And when I got to a certain amount of reps, and Coach Andrews and Coach Stack both doing and has did a tremendous job with training and stuff like that. And this, once I got to my singles within the 225, it's just like take a breath, push as hard as you can, take a breath, push as hard as you can, and stuff like that.
Patrick, I'm curious, Major League Baseball put together like a 67-page document outlining like how they're all the things they have to do to make sure they can have one baseball game, safely, medically speaking, right? I mean, are you guys prepared when you come back? Do you think it's going to be football as usual, or do you think are you expecting there to be some significant changes in terms of what you guys can and can't do, and even like maybe wearing masks during games and all that kind of stuff?
I definitely think there's going to be some changes as far as just like how everything's going. I feel like the first day back is kind of going to be like probably kind of like a medical day. You got, they got to be safe. They got to check everybody's temperatures and stuff. Make sure nobody has it from coming back. We got people from coming everywhere. So I feel like we just got to take precautions measures. And after like a week or two, I'm pretty sure we just going to get back to the grind. And once we know everybody's clear and the building's safe, we can start back to normal.
Were you guys told specifically that you'll be tested for COVID when practice and that kind of stuff starts back up?
I mean, not really, but you can only imagine.
Yeah. We haven't been told that, but they say getting tested for that stuff is hurtful. Putting something all the way in the back of your nose, so I don't know about that.
Yeah. My sister said she cried. They said the test painful.
PJ, if I could, I just wanted to ask Patrick about his sister when she tested positive. Did she have severe symptoms, or was it a mild case for her? Did she have to be hospitalized at all?
So actually, it was kind of messed up because what they were doing with the test, they didn't take her. They only took people that were like critical, like almost near death. But my sister's symptoms were pretty severe, and they didn't. She couldn't even get a test until it was almost like to one of the worst points. But thankfully enough, she was blessed, and God was watching over her to pull through it. So she had a quarantine by herself in her house, and then when she quarantined, she got another test done. She came back with her results negative.
She older or younger, Patrick?
It's my older sister.
What does she do for a living? Or is she in school or what?
She works in Atlanta. She works for a company, business company downtown Atlanta.
Thank you.
No
What's her name, Patrick?
Maya Jones.
Thank you.
Okay. Unless we have anything else. Hey, Jaylen, Patrick, class job. Thank you. You always represent us so well on and off the field. Appreciate you taking time to do this. And certainly to our fine reporter colleagues. It's good to see you guys, and looking forward to the day when we can get out of this virtual stuff and be in each other's company again. But great thanks for taking the time to talk some ball with us.
Appreciate you, EJ. You already know anything for you.
Yeah, you're too kind, buddy. Thank you. Everybody stay well.
Thanks, guys.